Because in life, you have to prioritize what's important to you. And if you're not prioritizing your family, I don't think they'll respect you much. You're going to be lonely. Your wife is going to leave you with your money. You're going to be lonely with your money in a mansion, 75,000 square feet or whatever. Lonely. Nobody. Because your wife said, nah, I can't stand this. I came across a video which was very surprising to me and it's about fathers, and it's Andrew Tate basically his take on fatherhood and what a father should do in a home. Yeah.
My father was the OG. I was raised by probably the best father on earth. I really genuinely believe
But he wasn't
that.
Around?
But a father doesn't have to be around. This is a big mistake. This is another big mistake, especially among the conservatives and the tradcons and all this crap. The idea that a father needs to sit around like a second mother to make a child healthy is a fallacy. In fact, I'd say it's detrimental to the child. I see all these dudes out here, they have a kid and they basically become mother number two. Why? The mother keeps the child alive. As a father, it's your job to be impactful. You need to guide. You need to be a role model. You need to be a superhuman. Everyone should look at their father like a superhero. That's what you should genuinely view him as. It's hard to be a superhero if you're home every day arguing with your wife, changing diapers. That's not what a man should do. A man should rock up, teach lessons, be impactful, and it's more about quality as opposed to quantity of time. I saw my dad once a month. He was out on the streets. He was pimping, hustling. My father was a chess grandmaster. He's traveling the world playing chess. He had all his girls. He's doing whatever he's doing. When he came home, it was an impactful time. Whether it was a positive impact or it was a big argument or whatever, never was I ever around my father. It was a low energy environment. That's not who he was as an individual. And I remember every single second spent with him. There's a whole bunch of dudes out here and chicks. Their father's home all the time, fine. But if you're home all the time, you're going to lose to a degree your mystery. It doesn't matter how cool you are as an individual. If you're home all the time, always, you're not going to have that magical power as opposed to, whoa, dad's home. I'm telling you, the biggest mistake fathers make is that they let the woman convince them that to be a good dad, they need to be there all the time. That is a complete lie. Fathers never did this. We were always at war or down in the coal mines or away working. This is the way it's always been for humanity, right? The men were away doing important things. Now the man's at home changing diapers, like a punk.
Now, there's a lot of things wrong with that. So first of all, he's implying that fathers should be mysterious and they shouldn't be in the house. They should be out there, pimping or whatever. Listen, his dad was a chess grandmaster, yeah? If we take that out, if he wasn't a chess grandmaster and he was just out here in the streets, only showing up home a few times, really? That doesn't make any sense. As a man, you can't do that. Mysterious? What are you talking about? What are you on about, mysterious? As a man, you shouldn't be mysterious to your children and your family. You should be there. You should be present. It should be your duty to lead your family forward and to show them what a man is. This is what Patrick David had to say.
There's a very, very big value that men have in a boy's life, but the more divorces we get and the more fatherless homes that we have, men don't know what it is to be a man's man. Matter of fact, let's look at a complete different angle. Most kids who go to school, most teachers are women. Most teachers are not men. So just recently I had my kids watch Captain, the documentary about Derek Jeter, and there's a scene in this documentary where Derek Jeter is drafted by the Yankees. His dream becomes a reality. He always wanted to be a shortstop for them because his dad was a shortstop. He goes, but he's not doing well. He's making errors, he's making mistakes, he's doing all this stuff and he's having anxiety attacks, he's depressed almost, and he makes a phone call to his house. Mom's talking to Derek and mom says, son, why don't you just come home? The father says, when I heard my wife saying this to Jeter, he says, I told her, don't tell him that. He can't know that's an option. So now, let's replay this. Say the father's not in a picture. Say the mom's able to convince Derek Jeter to come home because no mother wants to see their son suffer. And she's witnessing her son Derek suffer. But the father says, that's what builds character. Let him go through it. If that doesn't happen, you don't have a 5-time World Series champion, few $100 million, one of the greatest Yankees of all time, 3,400 hits. If that simple call by the father wasn't made, you and I may not know who Derek Jeter is. So what's the point here? So maybe men today need stronger role models to challenge them and to show them it is okay to go through challenges. It is okay to have to fight through. This is a part of becoming a man's man, and it's natural.
So as you can see in the other video, Patrick David was talking about the presence of a father. That if a father wasn't there, we wouldn't have had that superstar, right? Who just won championships, etc. So then, do you honestly believe that if that father was mysterious and he wasn't there, he would have listened to him? It doesn't make any sense. Like, how are you meant to be listened to by your children if you're not present? To me, it just doesn't make sense. Take it from me, right? It just doesn't work. Like, if you're not there and you're just popping up randomly, I'm going to be like, yo, as soon as you dip, I'm going to do my thing. You can talk all you want and feel like you're a father for 10 minutes, but as soon as you leave, I'm doing what I want. And you, as a father as well, trust me, you would want your children to listen to you. You'd want your children to look up to you. Yes, he's right. Andrew Tate is right in saying that you need to look like a superhero to your children, but you shouldn't be mysterious. Guy, I'm not trying to diagnose him or anything, but listen, there's a lot of trauma in that guy, right? His dad wasn't there. He wasn't present. Yes, he's become the world champion. He's been hanging out with models, got all these fancy cars. But that's not a life you want for yourself or for your children if you have them. You shouldn't be. What's wrong with helping your wife change the diapers and the nappy? Like, what's wrong with that? To me, like, please tell me what is wrong with that. You're going to talk about traditional roles in a relationship. That doesn't make any sense. So I don't want to seem like I'm trying to use people. So I don't want to seem as if I'm trying to use other people for the benefit of my growth. That I have too much self-respect for that. All I'm saying is take responsibility. If you're a father, take responsibility for your seed. Don't then, get a girl pregnant and then dip or go do your own thing or hustle or whatever and only show up once. Or I know some guys don't even go back. And that's building a society of fatherless men and women. And we currently see what that looks like if there's no father in the home. So as much as I respect other people for doing their own thing, you also need to judge. For example, this guy, the first guy on the clip, Mr. Tate, you realize, okay, he's a good businessman. He's someone I would listen to when it comes to business, when it comes to, being competitive and all of that, manipulating the market. But when it comes to relationship with women or other people, I don't necessarily think most of what he says is true. It's not as coherent as his business advice, because I feel it comes from a place of hurt and insecurity. So presence is important. Let's take Ryan Serhant, for example. This man is one of the most productive men I've seen I've come across on YouTube. He's incredible. He's got a business, real estate business. I'm sure you know him, Ryan Serhant. And this guy, you can see how he moves. He's a machine. But he always finds time to FaceTime his daughter. Right? One of the busiest guys. He always finds time to FaceTime his little daughter and his wife. And he prioritizes that when he gets home. He's not there during the day, but when he's with them because he's been working all day, and he's, between meetings on the way to a certain meeting, you see him, on a FaceTime with his wife and his daughter and stuff like that. And I think that's really sweet, because in life, you have to prioritize what's important to you. And if you're not prioritizing your family, I don't think they'll respect you much. You're gonna be lonely. Your wife is gonna leave you with your money. You're going to be lonely with your money in a mansion, 75,000 square feet or whatever. Lonely. Nobody. Because your wife said, nah, I can't stand this. We can see that there's examples of people who are moguls and who are showing great responsibilities to their family. Let's take Barack Obama as well. Bro, do you think Barack Obama's mysterious to his family? Do you think he's out there pimping, hustling, and all that? No, bro. His daughters know him. He spends time with them. Even as a president, you could tell he was doing certain things to make the effort to spend time with them. Family is important. A child, the way they form the world is how they see their parents interacting. Does mommy and daddy have a relationship? Does mommy and daddy have a healthy relationship? Do they argue? If they argue, how do they calm things down? How do they end up coming back into the place of harmony, bringing harmony back into the vibe, into the house. Yeah. Not this, my dad was there once a month, and when he came along, he just came, argued with my mom and left. That is toxic. That is a toxic environment that you will not want for any child. And that goes back to the point I was saying. It depends. This is how we grow the society, because if your child sees that you're absent at home and whenever you're there, even if it's high energy, you're arguing with his mom or her mom, and there's no harmony in the family, what sort of relationships do you think they'll get into? They'll also have some toxic relationships. So it's important to think about that, not just yourself. Oh, I'm hustling, I'm pimping, I'm living the lifestyle of a top G, of a masculine man. Yeah, but what about your child? Staying home. Not all the time, obviously. Someone's got to make money because your wife is going to be pregnant. So you need to be the breadwinner, which is understandable. But there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with helping your wife change her nappy for the child. There's nothing wrong with helping your wife look after your daughter or your son, because that's also how you connect and bond with your son and your daughter. And that's real masculinity right there. That's real masculinity. Balancing those energies inside you. The hunter, the girl, who also comes home and nurtures. Because you don't want to always live in one side of the hemisphere, the logic, the strategic thinker, no, that there's studies on this that ruins your brain. You cannot always be on one end of things. You need to come back into the feminine side, tap into that, because that's going to help you be a wholesome individual. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate you. And yeah, I hope this journey of mine, we see where it goes. Please like, subscribe. Stay tuned for my next video where I speak about the things that have helped me boost my dating life, and maybe they can help you too. Thank you.